Hola, in this video I'm going to show you a few examples so that you see how to use indirect object or indirect object pronouns, pronombres de objeto indirecto, and preguntas and questions. When we have a question and you have an indirect object pronoun, what do we do? Like how do we do this? Let's see, this is just normal, just for you, it's just a PowerPoint that you have in Blackboard in your course. And yo siempre, but just remember that you're going to try to find the indirect object pronoun. Most of the time it's going to be introduced by an a or para, a mis amigos. So mis amigos is the indirect object. You will be putting a les. Remember? Remember that is me, te, le, nos, os, les. Those are the pronouns, the indirect object pronouns, pronombres de objeto indirecto. Then the next sentence, I give, this is the direct, to the waiter. The waiter is the indirect object. So we're going to replace or we're going to add the pronoun. If it's one person, it will be le. Here it was more than one person, so les. En mis amigos. A veces a los jóvenes no dicen la verdad a sus padres. Sus padres, again, more than one person, a group of people is they, so les. Same thing, she gives a lot of homework to us, a nosotros. If it's a nosotros, that would be replaced with nos. So this is just some practice. I'm gonna go fast to the next slide. And sometimes in some activities, you might have to be put in the verb too, enter the verb. So the verb is gonna be mandar. But remember, the verb agrees with what? With the indirect object? No. It agrees with the subject, mi madre. Mi madre, the verb will agree with that. It will be manda, manda. And then here in front of the verb, we'll put the indirect object pronoun. Remember that if you have the indirect object, you need the pronoun there. So, yeah. So, mi madre, if it's a mi hermano, it will be le. So, le manda. Mi madre agrees with manda, and le is just there because the indirect object a mi hermano is there. Okay, mi esposo me trae. Mi esposo agrees with trae, and me is because it's saying el desayuno a la cama cuando estoy enferma. It's talking about, it's bringing me breakfast. Sometimes it might not be so explicit. You might not see a mí in the sentence. But you read it and it's like, okay, he brings breakfast to bed when I am sick. Okay, so he's bringing me breakfast when I'm sick. So there's a few other examples, and let's see what happens with questions. Okay, so preguntas con objetos indirectos, so questions with indirect object pronouns. Remember, these are the indirect object pronouns. Me, te, le, nos, os, les. And there's a hint. I'm going to give you a few, like a trick or two. Look at the verb. When you're looking at a question, look at the verb to see who's doing the action. And then find the objects. Always identifying everything is really important to know what's going on in the sentence or in the question first. So look at this first. ¿Me compras tú un café? Okay, if we look at the verb compras, you see that it's in the you form, right? So it's you buy, and actually the tú is right here. But you buy, what are you buying? That's the direct. And right now, we're not replacing the direct, only the indirect, okay? So later we'll be replacing both actually in the double object pronouns, but not right now. So you buy this, the coffee, direct object, to me, because we have a me already. That's what it means. Do you buy me a coffee? ¿Me compra usted un café? Look at this. The verb is a little bit different because you have a you, usted, but it's formal, so the verb needs to agree with the subject. Do you buy a coffee for me, or do you buy me a coffee? Okay, it's the same exact thing, it's just formal. Okay, we already looked at everything, we know where everything is. What would be the answer? Yes or no? But let's look at the yes answer. So yes, I buy, look at the verb. I'll buy you a coffee. I buy the coffee or a coffee to you. Te. So every time, I'm going to give you the trick in a second, but every time it's like, oh, do you do something for me to someone? The other person will be like, yes, I'll do this, or no, I won't do, but it's in the I form. Compro, I do something for you, te. So me and te in questions will be one in the question, the other one in the answer. Now, be careful if it's about usted. Do you buy me a coffee? The other person could be like, oh, yes, I buy a coffee for you. But careful, this you is just because you want to use the formal you, the usted form, which is here. Yes, I'll buy a coffee for you. In this case, I'm using le to make it a little bit more formal, to put it in the usted form. Le, okay? I buy a coffee for you. No, no te compro un café. This is exactly the same, just with a no in front of it. Ejemplos. So remember, let's see. If I am saying, do you do this for me? Yes, I'll do this for you, te, or you formal, le. What if we're talking, ooh, can you do this for her, le, or for him, le? Yes, the answer is going to have, yes, I'll do this for him or for her. It doesn't change. And the answer, you're going to find the same pronoun. This is little tricks. I'll show you some examples in a second. And then, can you do this for us? Can you buy us whatever? Yes, I'll do this for you guys. What is the you guys pronoun? It's either this one in Spain, os, or les in Latin America. Okay? Yeah, I'll do this for you guys. Os compro or les compro. I'll do this for you guys. And then if you have the indirect object, it was a mis amigos, a los estudiantes, and it's replaced by les. If you have a les in the question, can you do this for them? The answer is going to be also les. It's going to be like, oh, yes, I'll do this for them. It's going to be the same one. This is my little table. I think I invented this. I've never seen it before, but I use this, my little trick for like your cheat sheet, your little trick or hint for you to try to figure out questions. Okay, so ¿me compras un helado? Don't worry right now about the direct object. We'll look at these when you're learning double object pronouns. Okay, but right now, do you buy ice cream? Direct object. What are you buying? Ice cream. Direct. Let's focus on the indirect. Do you buy this for me? ¿Me compras un helado? Let's see the answers. What do we say? Yes, I buy, so it's going to be yo compro. To who? If it's, do you buy me something? It will be yes, I buy, compro to you. Te compro, right? Sí, te compro un helado. If it's informal, remember that it can be formal and then you can use the le. If you want to make it a little bit more formal, sí, le compro un helado. I'll buy you ice cream. Okay. Let's see. ¿Le das tu dinero, your money, to the instructor? Do you give, because this is in the you form, you give, das, tu dinero, that's a direct object. Nothing's going to happen with that. We're going to leave it there. To whom? A la profesora. And a la profesora, we have the indirect object here. And remember, when you have an indirect object in the sentence, you need to have the pronoun replacing it, not really replacing it. It's actually both are there. The object is there and the pronoun is there. ¿Le das tu dinero a la profesora? Do you give her your money? You can say like, yes, I give, doy. Look at the verb. I give my money. The direct doesn't change right now. I give whatever, my money, to her. I keep the le. I could still even put a la profesora at the end to leave the object, but you don't want to repeat again and again, a la profesora, a la profesora. If you use the pronoun, that's what we're using the pronoun to just not repeat the object so many times. So yes, I give my money to her. Let's see, ¿nos regalas un coche? You gift or you give us this as a gift. So this is the direct object, what you're gifting. This is the verb, and to who? Do you give this card to us, a nosotros? Okay, so if it's a nosotros, it could be the opposite. Yes, I gift this card to you guys. This is the you guys and the vosotros form. Yes, I'm giving this to you guys, sure. Or you can use the ustedes form, which it would be les. It would be the next one down. No, I don't. Was actually is a no. No, I don't gift the car to you guys. This is the same thing. To you guys or to you guys. This is the form that they use in Spain, or we use in Spain, and this is the form that they use in Latin America. Okay. And then número 4, les das buenos consejos. Do you give good advice to other students? The indirect object is right here. A otros estudiantes, what do you give? Good advice. This is the direct. Leave it there for now. And then a otros estudiantes, we already have the les, the correspondent pronoun. So then, yes, let's see. I give, doy. See that the verb always changes. I give this good advice to them. Les. The les will stay as a les in the answer. Okay? Questions, answers. Okay, ¿a quién le das abrazos? A few different examples. ¿A quién? Who? To whom do you give hugs? Ooh, let's see. How do you want to say this? I give hugs. Yo doy abrazos. To whom? To whoever. Le doy abrazos a mi novio. To my boyfriend. Okay. I hug. This is literally to hug. Dar abrazos is to hug. So I hug my boyfriend. And see, if you have an indirect object, you put the pronoun there. A nadie. In COVID-19, no hugs. A nadie. A nadie. To no one. ¿A quién le preparas el desayuno? Who do you prepare breakfast for? ¿A quién? When it's a quién, it's like who. And if it's a who, you need the le because you don't know who you're talking about. So who, one person, who do you do breakfast or do you prepare breakfast for? Le preparo el desayuno. I prepare breakfast to whom? If it's one person, use the le. So, le preparo el desayuno a mi amiga, a mi madre, a María. And let's see, ¿a quién le escribes mensajes de texto? Who do you write text messages? This is literally to text. So, I text, yo escribo mensajes de texto a mis amigas. Les escribo mensajes de texto. If I put mis amigas, it will be les. If I put a mi novio, it will be le. So always remember, the pronoun always agrees with the indirect object right there. There's a practice, a few games here in the next one too. And that will be it. If you want to use this PowerPoint, like I said, you have it in the course. And let me know if you have any other questions. Adios.